Good evening and thanks for watching the news with me, Eric Nsigiti. First, the headlines. At least 26 elderly people were brutally murdered over witchcraft allegations last year alone. Pope Francis appoints Bishop George Tambala as Archbishop of the Lilongwe Archdiocese. In other news, the British government ready to welcome President Lazarus Chakwera and the Malawi delegation to this year's COP26 in Glasgow. We have these plus many other stories. Please do stay with us. In our first story this evening, at least 26 elderly people were brutally murdered over witchcraft allegations last year alone, according to the Malawi network of older persons organizations. Officials from the organization discussed this when First Lady Monica Chakwera celebrated Mother's Day with the elderly and widows at Kayamwendo in Mchinji on Friday. Blessings Mpinganjira has the details.
Executive Director for the Malawi network of older persons, Andrew Kavala, bemoaned ill treatment given to elderly persons, which he said is rampant in the country. He said it is sad that 40% of orphans in the country are under the custody of older people despite their vulnerability.
The abuse, discrimination, violence that is targeting older men and older women. Most of them are living in fear where they are staying.
First Lady Monica Chakwera encouraged women to keep girls in school to stimulate empowerment and ensure that the female population is at the core of the country's development. She said the country's attainment of Malawi 2063 hinges on uplifting women and girls, as poverty is more entrenched in this section of population.
Ndipo nkhani yolera ana kwambiri imakhala mzimayi kuonesesa kuti ana kwatani akuphunzira bwino, akukula bwino, kuchipatala makatemera aja alandira ndi chani ndi mzimayi.
Bringing smiles to the elderly and widowed mothers, she donated assorted items to 145 elderly persons and widows as part of the Mother's Day celebration.
The British government says it is ready to welcome President Lazarus Chakwera and the Malawi delegation to this year's conference of Party 26 in Glasgow. British High Commissioner to Malawi, David Bie, said this on Thursday during a send-off reception for the Malawi delegation. President Chakwera is expected to attend the Global Climate COP26 conference next month. Deogratias Simana has more in this report, read by Matthews Kasanda.
The British High Commissioner says this year's climate conference of Party 26, which is scheduled to take place in November, is critical, keeping the goal alive of reducing global temperatures by 1.5 degrees.
Malawi and its delegation will play a critical role. Malawi is the president of SADC, and it is the chair of the least developed countries grouping of the UN. It therefore has an influential voice to help drive, firstly, an outcome that is agreed by all countries, but secondly, an outcome that works for developing countries such as Malawi.
Minister of Environment and Natural Resources, Nancy Tembo, said the current climate requires all countries to redouble their efforts to attain the global temperature goal of 1.5 degrees.
We demand the 100 billion per annum that was promised by the developing countries. Most of that has not come in. We would like more financing, and we would like that financing simplified. There is financing out there, but for you to access it, the process is so cumbersome.
President Lazarus Chakwera is expected to attend the conference.
Now, Pope Francis has appointed Zomba Bishop George Tambala as Archbishop of the Lilongwe Archdiocese. The Vatican has announced. The Episcopal Conference of Malawi has also confirmed Bishop Tambala's appointment. We have the details in this report.
15 October will remain a memorable day for Bishop Tambala. He was appointed Bishop for Zomba Diocese on 15 October 2015 and now appointed Archbishop of Lilongwe Archdiocese on 15 October 2021. The Episcopal Conference of Malawi announced his appointment on Friday. Secretary General for the ECM, Father Henry Saindi, said in a statement that the new Archbishop will continue serving Zomba Diocese until he takes canonical possession of Lilongwe Archdiocese. And according to a statement from Lilongwe Archdiocese Administrator, Monsignor Patrick Tawale Tambala is expected to assume leadership of Lilongwe Archdiocese by 27 November this year. Meanwhile, President Lazarus Chakwera has sent a congratulatory message to the new Archbishop.
Now, on Mother's Day, a group of women called Amai Makonzanji donated various items to children at Great Foundation Care Center at Chileka in Blantyre. The support was part of celebrations marking this year's Mother's Day. We have more in this report.
At least 50 children have been reached with clothes, soap and sugar among other items. It is their day, but these women and mothers have decided to reach out to children with this support. Doreen Kaliati is chairperson and had to travel all the way from Palula to be part of the initiative. A Great Foundation has been providing early childhood development services to children from Kapitao and other villages in the area of Traditional Authority Kuntaja in Blantyre. Acknowledging the support, the foundation's founder, Margaret Lewis, emphasizes on the importance of ECD to child care.
That there was a very big gap between the children who attend preschool before attending primary and the children who do not attend, who just go to primary school starting from 6 years. So we saw that there was a very big gap. So that's why we came in and help out in this area in our community, and we are glad that many children are benefiting and that their minds are being settled before they go to primary school.
Village Headman Kapitao says the center has assisted in preparing under 5 children for primary education. Research suggests children who undergo early childhood development education are more likely to become more responsible citizens than their counterparts who did not.
Meanwhile, poultry company Care Foods has encouraged women to engage in businesses to be self-reliant. Care Foods retail manager Rowena Osman says self-reliant women are more likely to contribute more to national development. Justin Nkwewu has the story.
The event hosted women across the country that trade with Care Foods products, especially proto-feeds. The women discussed the business environment and how they can sustain their businesses. Osman said the participation of women in poultry business is growing and encouraged others to venture into the business.
Our commitment is just to encourage the women out there to venture into poultry business. And I had mentioned to them before that we do offer training services at our demonstration farm here in Blantyre. So we basically just teach them how to do the poultry business, and the training is for free. So that way we get to encourage, and one of the ways as well to encourage them is through this event that we've had here today.
One of the women who participated in the event, Peride Malongo, gave thanks to the company for the treat. She reiterated Osman's words that women should join businesses, describing her experience as beneficial.
Many women maybe go to work, they earn salary by the end of the day, but because we are keeping the chickens, by selling them we boost our income generating activities. And through that, we are able to pay for school fees for our children. We are able to provide for basic needs in the family. We are able also to contribute to so many charity works, even the church.
Care Foods has subsidiaries such as Donald's Eggs, Proto Feeds, Proto Chicks, and Proto Vet.
And in our Mother's Day special report, Thomas Kajere looks at the need for Malawians to help one another in times of need.
It's time when people make their mothers smile. This is the time to celebrate mothers.
And this one's going to all the mothers out there. Whoa, not anymore, mama.
As people are celebrating mothers for their precious love, there are some women who have nothing to show off, literally have no one to celebrate them. Janet Hari of Jegete Village, Traditional Authority Mpama in Chirazulu district, does not know the year she was born. But never mind, that is not the issue for today. This woman says she is the only one remaining in her family after all her 5 children and her husband died years ago. She says that makes her struggle every day, being an old woman who cannot manage pieceworks to bring food on her table. According to Janet, the only thing she could ask from well-wishers is food. As people are celebrating Mother's Day, Janet is passing through a lot and does not want to talk about her fallen relations.
I had 5 children, 3 girls and 2 boys. One of the girls was physically challenged, but as of today, all of them are dead. I'm facing challenges because I don't do anything, being an old woman. I know there is Mother's Day celebration every year, but I cannot do otherwise. I just fold my arms and watch what people do because there is nothing for me. All I can ask for is food.
Janet is just an example, but there are many women in the country who are struggling and need love from all of us.
I now realize couldn't believe them why got in the news of my.
The official Mother's Day holiday arose in the 1900s as a result of the efforts of Anna Jarvis. Following the death of her mother in 1905, she conceived of Mother's Day as a way of honoring the sacrifices mothers made for their children. Mother's Day is celebrated on October 15 every year as an appreciation to the priceless love women bring to the world. Happy Mother's Day.
Take me back again.
Oh, this is the news on Times Television, TTV. When we come back, Isaac Salima takes us to Choro, where some people with physical disabilities are still facing challenges.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like if your bank was really there for you, as they say? We mean really there for you when you need to recharge. Or your most intimate moments. You got it right here. While you're focused on things that matter, you can trust that First Capital Bank is focused on you.
St. Louis High School in Data invites students across the country to sit for the 2022 academic year entrance examinations. An unrefundable entry fee of 8,000 Waja must be deposited into the following bank account. Standard Bank, account number 910-000-419-7337. Name, St. Louis High School, Branch Data. The Form 1 and Form 3 entrance examinations shall be held as follows. In the Northern Region, at Katoto Secondary School in Mzuzu. Central Region, Lilonge TTC, Lilonge Primary School, and in the St. Louis High School campus. And in the Southern Region, at Blantyre Secondary School. The date for the administration of the Form 1 and Form 3 entry examinations at St. Louis High School is on Saturday, 20th November 2021. Hurry, get your application forms from these centers from Monday, 4th October 2021 or via email and WhatsApp on 0994-755-333 and 0995-475-282. Email stlouishighschool21@gmail.com. Website www.stlouishighschool.com. Fees per term is 270,000 Kwacha.
We all start differently, but we can all start with the strongest protection. Because some start early, others start late. Some from little homes, others from big ones. Some start together, or all on their own.
It doesn't matter how you start, as long as you start strong. With new Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection. Now with fluoride plus arginine for 4 times more strengthening power. So that you can give them the strongest start to their day. Colgate. Start strong, stay strong.
If there's one thing that all soaps do, it's wash. From buckets to basins, bathrooms to streams, and everything in between.
All soaps wash.
Yes, but Protex is different. Its reinvented formula with flaxseed oil boosts your skin's natural anti-germ defenses by 10 times more, protecting you against 99.9% of germs. So what keeps us healthy?
Protex!
Good health starts here.
Welcome back. In news just coming in, fire broke out at HTD buildings near Castel Malawi offices at Makata Industrial Area in Blantyre. As you can see in this amateur video clip, firefighters are currently on the scene trying to put out the fire. The cause of the fire has not yet been established. We'll bring you more on this in our subsequent editions of the news. And people with physical disabilities continue facing mobility problems, as most of them fail to give themselves wheelchairs and other walking aids. Isaac Salima traveled to Cholo district and tells the story of some people with physical disabilities who are suffering due to lack of wheelchairs.
Kweruza area is found in traditional authority Kwetemure in Cholo district. It is a place where Mariam Nzunga, Samuel Japani, William Machin, and Gerard Kim call home. However, home has never been a haven of peace for them. There are various forms of physical disabilities, but all share a common problem of lack of wheelchairs to ease mobility challenges. Nzunga is deaf and dumb. She stays with her sister while Japani is being taken care of by his brother. For Kim, his father abandoned him because of his condition. According to his mother, he can be going to school if he gets a wheelchair. Machin also shares similar predicament. He has a family to take care of, but mobility challenges to engage in economic activities have been his major obstacle. Emmanuel Magungwa from the area, who has been helping the victims in several ways, called upon other well-wishers to come to their rescue.
I have been trying to knock on different doors so that these people can be assisted. My plea is that someone should come to the rescue of these people.
Federation of Disability Organizations in Malawi Executive Director Simon Munde admitted that lack of walking aids continue hitting hard people with physical disabilities in the country.
And this problem is aggravated by the fact that funding to the Malawi Against Physical Disabilities are drastically been reducing over the years. You know that previously in the 80s, in the 90s, the government was funding this particular agency, and due to that high levels of funding, Malawi Against Physical Disability was able to do lots of outreach activities.
A wheelchair costs about 150,000 kwacha, meaning that about 600,000 kwacha could be enough to change Mariam, Samuel, Wile, and Gerard's destinies and eventually become productive.
Center for Social Accountability and Transparency, CSAT, has said the delayed implementation of the Access to Information Law is fueling cases of public financial mismanagement. The concerns come amid a public outcry over the dormancy of the ATI law a year after the President Chakwera-led administration declared it operational. Rebecca Chincheka has more in this report, read by Wezi Gausi.
The concerns come amid public outcry on the Access to Information ATI a year after President Chakwera-led administration declared the law in operation. CSAT Executive Director Willie Kambandira says despite gazetting of the Access to Information law, citizens continue to hunt information from public offices.
Access to information law is very important when we are talking about the public finance management. We are talking about issues of fighting corruption. We are talking about helping our citizens to monitor public finances and hold duty bearers to account.
On his part, IM Swedish Regional Director Daliso Balasa called for inclusive partnership for effective of the ATI laws.
We needed it yesterday. We need them strengthened. We need the collective responsibility getting entrenched even more in Malawi. So it's a very exciting program championed by GIZ. I know there are other stakeholders trying to do 1 or 2, 3 things in the same direction. I think it's important that we really connect the forward and backward linkages so that we see transparency and accountability taking root.
The workshop brought together different stakeholders from government, development partners, civil society organizations, and the media.
In other news, girls in the country have been challenged to have interest in the aviation sector. Governor of the African International Organization of Women Pilots, Ivana Alvarez Marshall, made the remarks when female students from Chisapi Private Secondary School toured Chileka International Airport as part of commemorations marking this year's Girl Child International Day. Alvarez Marshall explains.
And like I said before, we're trying to promote women in aviation and girls in STEM fields. There's not many girls who take up aviation, and we are very, very few in the industry. Worldwide, we're probably about maybe 6%, and in Africa, we're less than 1%. So our aim is to try and encourage more girls into this industry, and in aviation, as they're seeing today through the airport tour, there's many different fields. It's not only about being a pilot. You can be a firefighter, air traffic controller, you can work in operations. So there's many different departments, meteorology, aviation, medical doctors, and it's just to give the girls different insight into what aviation is all about.
One of the students, Yvonne Mangazi, described the trip as fruitful.
It has really been beneficial because a lot of people think that what we wish we could do and who we wish we were is just not meant to be. At this young age, we've already done a course on pirates and stuff. So it has really been very good. Mostly people think that women cannot make it. But women can make it, and they're able to make it. So these people are encouraging mostly women to do this. Yeah, so we're really getting encouraged.
And that's the news for now, but before we go, the headlines again. At least 26 elderly people were brutally murdered over witchcraft allegations last year alone. Pope Francis appoints Bishop George Tambala as Archbishop of the Lilongwe Archdiocese. In other news, the British government is ready to welcome President Lazarus Chakwera and the Malawi delegation to this year's COP26 in Glasgow. You have been with me, Eric Nsikiti, but remember you can get more on these and other stories by visiting our website www.times.mw, liking our Facebook page Times360 Malawi, subscribing to 1895 and following us on Twitter at Times360 Malawi. Good evening.